we have, I need to make sure that I've got my agenda up. We have, I think it's Justin, right? Justin, are you with us? Let's see. Justin, there you go. I see you there. You're unmuted now. Okay. Justin Zipkin from Astrolight has been working in the commercial space industry, including Director of Business Operations at Reaction Dynamics and also at Rocket Lab. So he's at Astrolight, who was one of the 7 teams which was selected for the Watts on the Moon Challenge. And I'm excited to hear about their wireless mobile power beaming concept. So Justin, you can go ahead and share your screen if you can.
Thank you very much. Yeah, are you able to see my screen?
Yep, looks good.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Well, it's an honor and a pleasure to have the opportunity to address you all. As Wes mentioned, my name is Justin Zipkin. I'm the operations lead at Eternal Light, and I'll be presenting on behalf of Astrolight, which is a partnership between Astrobotic and Eternal Light. We were the runner-up prize winners for the Watts on the Moon Challenge for Mission Activity 2. And Eternal Light is a company that was spun out of the Center for Space Entrepreneurship by myself and a colleague of mine. That program was led by Dr. Andrew Aldrin, and we primarily focus on power distribution technologies. And our partner Astrobotic, as many of you may know, is a 14-year-old lunar logistics and space robotics company based in Pittsburgh. As Wes mentioned, my background is more on the business end, having studied at the University of Michigan's Ross School of Business. I worked in the financial services industry as well as then going into the space industry with Reaction Dynamics and leading their business development unit. Just looking at the rest of the team as well, Paolo Pino is our space systems engineering lead, and he has a master's in space exploration development systems and materials engineering, and is also pursuing his PhD in chemical engineering as well as his MBA. Dr. Jordan Leidner, he earned his PhD at the Institute of Optics at the University of Rochester and works in that applied optics lab as well at the moment. And on the Astrobotic side, we were delighted to be joined by Jennifer Lopez, who is the Director of Business Development, Commercial, and Civil Space at Astrobotic. And in that role, she helps drive new payload opportunities across the Astrobotic product line, from planetary landers, mobility platforms, and future missions and tech. So on Team Astrolight, she took the architecture and commercialization lead, and together we formed Astrolight. And that was to leverage our commercial skill set being Astrobotics end-to-end integration and delivery and mobility services, and on Eternal Light side, the power distribution services. Together, we built a power beaming unit on a mobility platform that was able to supply the necessary 1,000 watt electric at the peak power to the water extraction plant. And obviously, as we've been able to see throughout the presentations from Brian and from Dr. Lubin, the advantage of power beaming is really the ability to scale up power transmission over larger distances. And so that 1 kilometer range that we saw in the Watts on the Moon activity might not be as representative there, but definitely has a lot of potential and promise going into future applications for lunar power beaming. And of course, taking it beyond this technical design challenge and looking at this as a commercial opportunity and building from the COTS model that NASA is currently using, that's the way that we are looking at approaching this. And so right now our technical leads are unable to join us today. And so we thought the best way to add value to this ecosystem was to help paint a better picture of what the needs are of lunar operators. By learning the needs of the lunar operators, we'll be able to better service those needs, but also create solutions that are custom and tailored for those needs. And so we decided it'd be a good idea to create a little survey. It's a short one. All of the results will be shared with the power beaming group, with everyone here and with Wes. And the more people that are able to participate and provide responses that are as accurate as possible, of course, the more valuable this will be to everyone here today. And so without further ado, I'd be happy to start using that. And so if you want to use your phone camera, or if you want to type this in, actually, if I could type this into the chat somehow, that'd be great.
Yeah, as a panelist, you should be able to copy and paste it into the chat. You'll just have to set that it goes to both panelists and the audience. If you
Okay.
want, I might be able to put it in there for you quickly too.
Let's see if I can get it in there. I just sent it to you, Wes.
Oh, it's okay. I will go ahead and put that to panelists and attendees.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
So I'll give everyone a minute just to get that loaded up, and I'll get started in about 30 seconds.
Okay. Questions are coming in. Okay.
All righty. Yes. Perfect. So, perfect. So we've got live responses already coming in, and this is fantastic. I'll give this question a minute or two. So the question is, where is your mission located? And just 3 simple answers. It's all very high level, a very short 5 or 6 question quiz. So again, more responses, the more accurate that we have our responses, the better that we can serve the industry and create solutions that are tailored for everyone here. I'll give this one another few seconds. Okay. So now the second question is your current mission that you have planned going to survive the lunar night? There's yes or no, and then there's also not right now, but we will require lunar night survival in the future. I'll give this one a few more seconds. I think we got 13 responses on the last one as well. So this could be our magic number. Alrighty, gonna go to the next one. So how would surviving the lunar night or receiving power, additional power for other purposes, add value to your mission? These are meant to be a written response, something short, and a word cloud is meant to pop up over here. See if there's anything that is absolutely common. So some responses could be, for instance, that you are able to continue a mining operation. Response could be that you'd like to keep a certain asset alive to provide communication services to other companies. Another one could be more scientifically oriented. For instance, looking at the ability to have a longer duration scientific objective that is only available through the lunar night, perhaps. Getting some interesting responses here. So right now, just looking at some of the responses that have already been submitted, there's a few that are focused on long-term operations, self-sustaining systems, increasing mission value, enabling reuse, production. Half the day is night. So again, I think that looks at being able to increase productivity by double. And there's another one there, increasing productivity, sustained human presence, enabling different scientific missions. And there's one, no concern about restarting activities, and deliver power and ancillary services. I'll let a few more answers trickle in. Hopefully we can get to that magic number of 13 or even above. And I'll go to the next question shortly. What's interesting here is that we're seeing a trend. Obviously, with more power, we can increase mission lifetime and increase productivity and help meet the goals that Artemis has set out. And if these are goals that are able to be delivered upon and executed and increase mission value by double, half the day is night, and create absolutely new opportunities, perhaps this is an area where prioritizing power beaming or prioritizing power services would be something that is an enabler in the Artemis program. And so this is just something that we can look at and continue to understand where in the overall life cycle does power beaming or power services play a role in the Artemis program and the national goals. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the next question. So this one is a quiz. Don't worry, all answers are right. If you could receive additional power, would that accelerate your organization's ability to meet their goals? Looking at the different answers, definitely would be like hopefully accelerating at a very rapid pace. Maybe looking at it could accelerate goals, but maybe not. And the last two would be more or less self-explanatory on absolutely not. I guess looking at that, maybe this shouldn't be a priority. And it's important to know and understand for the goals that are set out and for the communication that we have with the Artemis program to understand where this is as a priority. Got 6 responses that have rolled in so far. I'll leave it open for a little bit longer. The difference between this one and previous questions is just that we'll be able to see all of the responses at once right after, rather than seeing them live as they come in. So close to 10. Give it a few seconds. All right, go on to the next one. Oh, so first, just looking at the results. So we're seeing that 44% definitely, 33% maybe, no probably nots, and 22% absolutely not. How much power would you need to survive through the lunar night? And so looking right now at current operations over the next decade or so, or missions that are currently being planned and scheduled, we've seen already the power that was up for Watts on the Moon and the power needs that were scheduled there. Of course, different systems require different amounts of power. Perhaps there are people here that are building landers and rovers and mining operations, and so they could be a bit different, but you can select multiple answers. This gives everyone building power systems a great understanding of how big of a power system is needed to be built in order to best serve those that need the power. And so this is obviously one that's very important.
And Justin, soon we'll have to be moving on to the next one of the next presentation. So let's
No problem.
Okay,
We've got this one more question, and we can wrap right up. We've got no other questions after that, if that's all right, Wes.
sure, that's fine. Thank you.
I'll give this another minute just so we can help wrap up and get to the other incredible speakers. Alrighty. If there's any last responses, and we'll move on to the next. Okay, so very interesting results in the near term, looking at a lot of lower power systems. Of course, that's really interesting to see. And as the last question, would you pay a service fee to survive the lunar night? And if so, what would be the maximum percentage of total mission cost to make it worthwhile? So obviously, extending through the lunar night, you might be able to double, triple, quadruple, even more the amount of operational time that you have. If you're able to generate revenue, if you're able to meet a scientific mission and study new things, is that worth paying a fee? If you're able to double the mission, is it worth paying for 50% of the mission cost, etc.? These are things that are always very interesting to understand. And I'll give this one another minute. And if there's anyone that wants to submit something last minute, please do so now, and we'll wrap it up in about 10 seconds.
One other thing that you might appreciate is that, we're doing some of these similar types of surveys in our service power group. And you might also have some success if you did this in some of the monthly telecons that the other focus groups have, ISRU or and so on.
Absolutely. I think that's a fantastic idea. And yes, we saw the survey come out. I think that's incredible as well, and partly what inspired us to continue doing and bring this one to light as well. All right, we'll wrap this one up and take a look at the responses. Okay, so 30% would not, and 70% would. And looking at up to about 20%, oh, we've got 40% people that say 50%. So very interesting. Thank you very much, everyone, for participating. All answers are correct. This should be very, very helpful in continuing to help service the industry. If you're interested in collaborating with Eternal Light and Astrobotic and the Astrolight team, whether it be for Watts on the Moon Phase 2 or for commercial applications, please reach out. Be available for questions as well. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Justin. Yeah, it was interesting, definitely bimodal at that last question. You either don't need it at all or you really need it, and up to half of what you would pay in total.